What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Weekly GCap, the only source you'll ever need to catch up on all the gaming news from the last week. As always, we got quite a couple of stories to go through, and if there's only a couple that interest you, feel free to either use the timestamps down in the description or just kind of scroll through there on the time bar, and the chapters should show up there as well. First things first, let's go ahead and go over all the major game releases in the last week according to Metacritic. So, on April 20th, we had Black Myth Wukong, Dustborn, and New Mata. On August 22nd, we have Tactical Breach Wizards, and on August 23rd, we have Concord and Harvest Moon Home Sweet Home, which is a mobile game. As always, I'd love to hear from you guys. Have you guys gotten to pick up or play any of these games? Next up, two games are free on Epic Games, those being Gigantic Rampage Edition and the Callisto Protocol. These will be free until August 29th at 11 AM EST, so you might as well redeem them because there's no better price than free. Next up, the second half of August Xbox Game Pass games were announced. So, the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Early Access Open Beta will be starting on August 30th, and preloads will be available from August 28th, Atlas Fallen, which is available now, Core Keeper, which will be available August 27th, and then Star Trucker, which is a day one release for the service coming September 3rd, and then it is also worth noting that City Skylines, Control Ultimate Edition, and SnowRunner are available now for Game Pass Core members. Next up, the Plucky Squire release date was announced. They put up a trailer in the description reads, quote, "The Plucky Squire is coming to Nintendo Switch on September 17th. The Plucky Squire follows the magical adventures of Jot and his friends, storybook characters who discover a three-dimensional world outside the pages of their book," end quote. This is one that I've been excited for a really long time, literally ever since it was announced, and I am so excited to see that this game will finally be releasing in just a couple of weeks. Next up, the Dragon Age Veilguard release date was announced. They put up a trailer and the description reads, quote, "These are the times in which legends are born or slain. Return to Thetis and Dragon Age the Veilguard. Solas's ritual is interrupted, but at what cost? The corrupt elven gods have broken free and are hell-bent on blighting the world. It's up to you to unite the Veilguard and fight back against these ancient rulers. Dragon Age the Veilguard arrives October 31st, 2024, aka Halloween of this year. Pre-order to receive the Blood Dragon Armor cosmetic for all three classes, Warrior, Mage, and Rogue," end quote. Dragon Age is, of course, a storied and legendary franchise dating back to the 360 and PS3 generation with Dragon Age Origins, for example. I have loved every single Dragon Age game, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. Next up, the Legacy of Kain collection for the Evercade was announced. So, yeah, it's for the Evercade, but they put up a trailer and the description reads, quote, "Legacy of Kain collection for Evercade features the two games that launched the classic Legacy of Kain saga from Crystal Dynamics. Followed the vampire Kain on a quest for revenge in Blood Omen Legacy of Kain and in Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. The Wraith Raziel seeks to strike back at his former master. Our second Giga card is available in September 2024 with pre-orders opening on August 30th. Legacy of Kain collection will be $24.99 USD, and again, the pre-orders will be open on August 30th. So, at first when I heard about this, I was hoping that maybe there would be, a light at the end of the tunnel. Hey, maybe at the end of this article, they'll say that they were planning on releasing it on other platforms as well, but at this time, it seems to only be releasing on the Evercade, which, don't get me wrong, the Evercade, it's an amazing system, of course, but it's not like it's necessarily the most widely adopted system at the moment. That obviously would be more something like a Series X or a PS5 or a Nintendo Switch, but hey, again, there's always hope. Maybe one day they'll port it to those systems, because really what I want at this point is just to have the mainstream be introduced to the Legacy of Kain franchise in some way, so then maybe, hopefully, we could see a return to the series, whether it be a full-on remake of some of the games, or an entirely new entry in the series, which is what I'm really hoping for. But regardless, it's still exciting that they're at least paying some kind of attention to this game, so I'll still be picking this one up. I still definitely want to support them as much as possible. Anything that can help, but push us towards possibly getting a new or just, more recognition for the Legacy of Kain games. Next up, Kong Survivor Instinct was announced. They put up a trailer and the description reads, quote, "Kong Survivor Instinct is coming to PlayStation 5 in fall 2024. Embark on a thrilling quest of survival in a city that's become a battleground for titans in the official MonsterVerse licensed console game Kong Survivor Instinct, launching later this fall. Kong Survivor Instinct is set shortly after the events of 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong. Players will navigate a shattered city, confront Kong in all his glory, and encounter new and returning titans and super species, including the first on-screen appearance of the terrifying titan Abaddon, or Abaddon, I think is how you actually just say it, I'm not sure, and much more," end quote. So, this is pretty cool because unlike the Kong Rise of the Skull Island game from last year or the year before, you guys remember that, I'm not, everybody else on the internet internet has already said their piece about like the JPEG cutscene, for example. Despite it being a game named after Kong, you don't actually play as King Kong in this one, as the description was saying. So this is more akin to something like the King Kong game from 2005, the one based on the movie, if you guys ever got to play that game, where, you know, you're just playing as one of the humans, basically just like hunting or just trying to survive against Kong. This sounds like a pretty cool concept, so I definitely have my eye on this one, and I do plan to check it out. Next up, the Final Fantasy 16 PC port was announced. This will be coming out September 17th for $49.99 USD. So if you're on PC and you've been waiting for this game, don't worry. It is not going to be a full price, you know, $69.99 game or even a $59.99 game. They're giving you a nice discount there. And obviously, once you pick it up on PC, you can, you know, do the whole ultra-wide setup, dual monitors, the 100, 200 FPS, 4K, max graphics, ray tracing, whatever. But yeah, it'll be really exciting to see this game and max graphics and everything like that. I can't wait to see those screenshots, because even though I am a console player, that is just how I prefer to play my games, it is always really cool seeing just like how beautiful of an image these powerful PCs can push out. And if you're wondering if I recommend the game, yes, of course, Final Fantasy 16 is a masterpiece. Next up, the Emio the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club demo is available now. This coming from Nintendo of America on X, quote, play the opening chapters of Emio the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club with a free demo coming to Nintendo Switch on August 19th at 6 p.m. PT, which means it's available now by the time you guys are watching this. More chapters to come on August 22nd at 6 p.m. PT and August 27th at 6 p.m. PT. Carry over your progress to the full game on August 29th, end quote. So it's kind of cool how they're doing this. It kind of harkens back to the days of like the Telltale games, or like the Walking Dead games, or, you know, any game similar to that where they'd roll it out in episodes, for example. So even though this isn't exactly the same thing, because this is just more or less early access to some of the chapters in the game, more or less just serving as a way for you to kind of dip your toes into the waters, experiment with a bit, still, it just kind of harkened back to that release scheme, or, you know, release strategy that we would have saw a couple of years ago. So I thought that was pretty cool, and this is one that I've been excited for ever since they started teasing it. So August 29th, you already know, getting that physical copy day one. Not to mention the fact that this is Nintendo publishing and full-on advertising a mature rated game. Like, that, like, that in itself is enough for, you know, I think anybody to at least be curious about this game. Next up, the Pokemon trading card game Pocket release date was announced. This is coming from Nintendo Life, quote, at the closing ceremony of the 2024 Pokemon World Championships, the Pokemon Company president and CEO, Mr. Tsunekazu Ishihara, announced Pokemon trading card game Pocket will launch for Android and iOS devices on 30th October 2024. Pre-registration is now open, end quote. So, for those unaware, this is serving to essentially replace the current Pokemon TCG Live app, where, you know, you kind of store like your digital Pokemon cards on there. This is just kind of that same concept, except kind of revamped. You know, you'll get like free daily packs you can open, this, that, and the other. Just very mobile-ified. As somebody who is very nostalgic for the Pokemon series and is still in love with the Pokemon series, I will be checking this out. I don't tend to play a lot of mobile games, but it is something I'll at least keep installed on my phone just to kind of dive in from time to time, open up some daily packs, you know, just kind of mess around there, because, you know, it is a cool concept at the end of the day. And, you know, with some of the battle features that you'll be able to do on there, I mean, that in itself will also bring back some nostalgia of like battling my friends back in the day, you know, back in like elementary and middle school and such. If you also plan to check out this app, as I said, pre-registration is available, so you can just go ahead and register for that, so then it can either automatically download when the app releases, or just so you can at least be notified about it. Next up, the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp app service is coming to an end. So they posted up saying, quote, thank you for playing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Service for the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp smartphone app will end on November 28th, 2024 at 3 p.m. UTC. We would like to express our deepest gratitude to everyone who has supported the title since service began. We will continue to hold events and add items until the service end date. You should also know that we are developing a version of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp that users can continue to play with their existing saved data. We plan to share details around October 2024, so we ask for your patience until then. They also went on to details about the paid version of the app, to which they say, we are planning to release a flat fee paid app that you can transfer your saved data to after service for Animal Crossing Pocket Camp ends. In addition to save data transfer, the basic gameplay and controls will be the same as Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. However, this app will allow the player to use the included features with a one-time purchase. There will be no in-app purchases or subscription services like Pocket Camp Club. However, since this app will not require a continuous online connection, some features that require that connection, e.g. market boxes, gifts, and visiting other players' campsites, will not be available. Also, please be aware that Leaf tickets will not be usable, and you will not be able to transfer them to the new app. We will announce details such as price and release date via service notifications around October, end quote. So, yeah, it's really sad that there's not going to be any of the online functionality, even if it would have just more or less been a peer-to-peer thing, because obviously we know that if a game is based around a peer-to-peer connection, it can essentially live endlessly, infinitely, with no issues, because there's no dedicated servers that really have to be maintained or worried about, because it's, again, all peer-to-peer with the server side of things. But again, it's just really a shame because, you know, once it goes away, sure, you can still play the game, you can play like a flat fee, whatever, so it's not like this is going to be like a lost media type of thing like we've seen with some other live service games, but it's stripping away a huge aspect, that being the social aspect of visiting your friends' towns and such. I'm not going to lie, for a loner like me, I never end up using that stuff anyway, you know, I play by myself, worry about my own town, do my own thing in Animal Crossing, but for those that are more social, and just considering the fact of how huge of a part of the Animal Crossing experience that tends to be for most people, yeah, that's pretty sad. But, again, light at the end of the tunnel. The game won't be going away indefinitely. It's just, you'll have to pay a flat fee to get into it, and there won't be a continuous online connection required, which, you know, that's actually pretty nice. Next up, GTA San Andreas VR is delayed indefinitely. This coming from IGN, quote, about 3 years ago, Meta caused some profound head tilts when it revealed that it was going to try to do a VR remake of GTA San Andreas. Unfortunately, the project is not coming anytime soon, as Meta has officially confirmed that it has been put on hold indefinitely. A Meta spokesperson confirmed to IGN via email that the game has been put on hold indefinitely. Additionally, the official MetaQuest VR YouTube account responded after users commented on a trailer for an upcoming MetaQuest game, Behemoth, developed by Skydance Games. GTA San Andreas is on hold indefinitely while we both focus on other projects. MetaQuest VR's official YouTube account confirmed in the comments, so, you know, it's one of those things where they've been repeating it time after time and again, literally saying the exact same thing. But we look forward to working with our friends at Rockstar in the future, end quote. So this one is really unfortunate. As you're seeing with the trailer looping on the screen right now, it looks pretty promising. You know, it seemed like they had a pretty good foundation built even those years ago when they first announced it, but unfortunately, it's just not going to come to fruition. Now, that being said, I'm sure if there isn't already fan mods out there, that there's probably going to be at least one or two out there that are in development after hearing about this news so that this can still become a reality. Because let's be honest, even though VR is still a niche thing, when it comes to turning games that aren't traditionally VR into VR, there seems to be a bit more of mainstream appeal there. And, you know, as much as we talk about VR still being a relatively niche things in the grand scheme of the wider gaming market, again, something like a GTA San Andreas in VR, I feel like that really would have went a long way to kind of mainstreamifying and at least getting some more eyes on VR in the grand scheme of things. But this is really just a shame, especially because it seemed like they were rather far along even a couple years ago, but, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully this can make a comeback in the future, because even though I'm not a VR guy, I have a very weak stomach, it's still something I'd like to see and experience at least once. But, you know, even if only for 5 minutes, because again, weak stomach here. Next up, the Atari 7800 Plus was announced. This coming from Time Extension, quote, Atari and PlayOn have announced that they will be bringing out an updated version of the Atari 7800, which was originally released in the States back in 1986. The Atari 7800 Plus will support both 2600 and 7800 game cartridges, will be able to connect to any HDMI TV, and feature widescreen or 4x3 viewing for all displays. It also comes with a wireless CX78 Plus gamepad, which is a recreation of the classic CX78 controller design, as well as a copy of the 7800 Plus game Bentley Bears Crystal Quest on cartridge and a USB-C charging cable. To coincide with the news, Atari has also announced a bunch of new 2600 and 7800 games, which will cost $29.99. These include Asteroids Deluxe for 7800 Plus, Bounty Bob Strikes Back, Bentley Bears Crystal Quest, Berserk, Frenzy, Space Duel, all of those being for the 7800 Plus, Caverns of Mars, Epic's Game Collection, which includes Summer Games, Winter Games, and California Games, the M Network Collection, which includes Armor Ambush, Astro Blast, Frogs and Flies, and Star Shrike, Real Sports Collection, which includes Real Sports Baseball, Football, Volleyball, Soccer, Tennis, and Boxing, as well as the never-before-released Real Sports Basketball. All of those that I just mentioned being for the 2600 Plus. The machine costs $129.99 USD from Atari's website and is now available for pre-order. A mega bundle is also available, featuring an additional CX30 Plus battle set, a CX40 Plus joystick, and 2 DB9 extension cables. End quote. So, if you guys have been watching the show for a while, then you would remember how ecstatic I was when they announced the Atari 2600 Plus. which you can only imagine means that I'm even more ecstatic for the 7800 Plus right now, because, well, I can't say even more excited, because, I mean, like, the amount of excitement I had when they announced that thing was insane, but I will just say that my anticipation for this thing, or my expectations with it, I guess you could say, are just technically higher in a way, because not only will it be compatible with 2600 cartridges, but also 7800 cartridges, whether they're the new ones that you can pick up or the original ones they've had since back in the day. So for me, for example, I still have my cartridge of Pac-Man on Atari 2600. Not only does that work on the 2600 Plus, but now it will also work on this new 7800 Plus, which is just awesome from a game preservation sake and just cool for, you know, nerdy retro boomers like me. This is a hands down, no questions asked, day one pickup for me, so I'm definitely gonna get my pre-order in, and I'll wait till this thing arrives, because I am so excited. Not to mention the fact that we're getting never before released games, like, come on, Atari games in the year 2024. That is just awesome. Next up, the LEGO Mario Kart sets were officially announced. Now, you may remember us talking about this a couple of months ago when they were teasing it, and they were kind of saying, hey, we'll be doing these soon, but now they have officially been announced, and we have all the details. So, this is coming from IGN, quote, Mario Kart is getting official LEGO in 2025. The LEGO Group has announced 6 sets will be released on January 1st, aka New Year's, featuring characters such as Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, Donkey Kong, and Toad. The 6 sets range in price from $14.99 to $79.99. The sets are compatible with the main line of Mario Lego 2, as putting the Mario, Luigi, or Peach from those sets into each cart will prompt new sound and visual effects to emulate a race starting, horn honking, kart drifting, glider gliding, coin collecting, and more. And you're obviously seeing like the images and the video and screen and such on your screen. And yeah, this is very exciting. I've talked about it many times before about how I've been a huge fan of LEGO ever since I was a youngin'. Legos can be a little pricey from time to time, but the most expensive one here, only being $79.99, is actually not too expensive by LEGO standards. So I'm not saying that I'm going to pick up all 6 on day one, because that is a bit of a cost commitment there, but over time I would like to pick up each of these sets, because, you know, just having like that ultimate LEGO Mario Kart set, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Next up, I just wanted to go ahead and do a bit of a short recap of the Nintendo Museum Direct that took place. So this wasn't a direct covering the new system or any games or anything like that. They were simply showing off the new museum they're going to be opening. Now, before we talk about the museum, it is worth noting that this will only be in Japan. The museum is in Japan. So if you want to go there, you're going to have to, you know, book your plane tickets, book some hotels, and stuff like that. So this will be opening on October 2nd. There's a lot of cool stuff here, and I don't want to talk about too much of it because, if anything, I mean, obviously, a lot of you probably aren't going to be booking flights to go out to Japan to visit this place. Even me, for somebody that's like such a huge fan of Nintendo, I just, you know, I don't do very good with traveling or just leaving the house in general due to some physical and mental disabilities and struggles and conditions and such. Not gonna go into too much detail there, but yeah, it would be really hard for me to make a trip out there, unfortunately. But watching the video itself is, I don't want to say more than enough, but it's definitely enough to at least give you an idea as to what the place would be like and kind of give you like a mini trip through it. Obviously, they didn't show off everything inside of the museum. They only showed off like a very small portion of it, but it's enough to at least kind of get that nostalgia fix and just see something really cool and entertaining. So I would recommend going and watch the video for yourself, but, you know, just in case you don't end up doing that, I will tell you some of the things that are there, including these massive controllers that take 2 people in order to operate, or like, say for example, they showed off Shigeru Miyamoto and one of the employees at this museum. The employee was using the B and the A buttons while Shigeru Miyamoto was running the D-pad, and they cleared World 1-1 of the original Mario Bros. On NES, or in that case Famicom. So, you know, just stuff like that, like that's really cool. They had like giant Wiimotes and stuff like that. I even made a comment on the video. You guys could probably see it if you go over there. I did it on my main channel, Grotesque, but I left a comment saying it would be pretty cool if they could have like a massive Wii U pad there, and they had a game that relied on gyro a bit, like Splatoon or like Star Fox Zero, for example. Could you imagine just having that massive pad there, and then having 2 people have to not only use the Wii U gamepad, but also have to like control it with the gyro and such, since obviously that would be a possibility if they had the giant Wii mote there to, you know, do motion type controls. I just think that'd be really cool, because I've said it time and time again, the Wii U is one of my favorite consoles of all time. So, you know, if they had a massive Wii U gamepad there, I mean, you know, it's already really tempting to at least, you know, just like bite the bullet and just say, screw my body, screw my conditions, and just go out there anyway. But the chance to see a massive Wii U gamepad the size of me, I mean, that would be on top of everything else, that might be the one where it's like, okay, I just have to see this thing and try to hold it in person. There's also a lot of stuff here that harkens back to the early days of Nintendo before they even made video games. Like, you're gonna be able to make your own Hanafuda cards, and they'll, you know, they'll have a bunch of like memorabilia of when Nintendo made those Hanafuda cards back in the day, back in like what was it, like the 1800s or the early 1900s, they said. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff there, again, that harkens back to the earliest days of Nintendo before they were known for making video games, and their first video game machines, whether that be certain plug and plays or Game & Watches of sorts. So yeah, again, I would recommend going to watch a video because there's a lot of really fun interactive stuff, as well as just a lot of cool memorabilia and informational type of pieces there at that museum that, you know, again, it's really tempting for somebody like me to at least want to try to make the trip out there one day. So I'm not sure if cameras are going to be allowed at that place, but I'm sure over time, if cameras are allowed in some capacity, that we'll see plenty of videos come out from like YouTubers and such around that time. So I'll keep my eyes peeled, and hopefully there will be some fun stories for us to cover once that happens. And finally, we got a full recap of Gamescom opening night live. So let's just go through this together, shall we? We got the pre-show first off. So Dave the Diver will have a crossover content from Balastro, Potioncraft, and MXM2 later this year. Sniper Elite Resistance is currently in development for a 2025 launch. Be Gone Beast will be coming to early access in 2025. Roadcraft is coming in 2025. Nico Dorico, The Magical World, is coming this October. We got a new trailer for Ino Tira, The Last Song, which is releasing September 19th. We got a new teaser trailer for Kain. We Re-Harvest Shadows, which is a first-person horror game taking place on an abandoned farm and is being made by a single developer. AILA is coming to PC in 2025. We got a teaser for Revenge of the Savage Planet, the sequel to Journey to the Savage Planet. Inzol is a new life sim coming soon with a character creation studio available to download on Steam now. Tribe 9 is a futuristic action RPG from the creators of the Danganronpa games. We got to look at the next installment in the Dark Pictures anthology named Directive 8020 and will star Lashana Lynch. We got a look at some gameplay of Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury in Street Fighter 6, and he'll be added to the game's character roster next month. Now that does it for the pre-show, so let's go ahead and move on to the main show. So, in order here, Borderlands 4 was teased and is releasing 2025. We got some gameplay of the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 campaign, and that will be releasing October 25th. Goat Simulator Remastered. It's finally coming. We got a trailer for the Persona 3 Reload DLC. We got a look at Dying Light the Beast. Black Myth Wukong got a brand new launch trailer. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero got a brand new gameplay trailer and is releasing October 11th. We got a look at King of Meat. Link's Banner of the Spark. Lost Records Bloom and Rage got a brand new story/gameplay trailer. Part 1 and Part 2 releasing next year. I think I said gameplay. I meant gameplay. Sorry, my speaking is... the ability to do so is escaping me. No More Room in Hell 2. Arc Raiders, which is releasing next year with a playtest happening this fall. Infinity Nikki. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 got a new trailer. Predecessor got a trailer and Shadow dropped that night. Path of Exile 2 is going into early access on November 15th. Dune Awakening got an extended gameplay trailer and a release date of 2025. Reanimal got a new gameplay trailer. Genshin Impact is finally coming to Xbox November 20th. Monster Hunter Wilds got a brand new gameplay trailer and is releasing 2025. Naraka Bladepoint is getting a Tomb Raider crossover on August 28th. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves got a look at some gameplay there. Mecha Break, we got a look at the gameplay. Monument Valley 3 is releasing December 10th. Civilization 7 got a brand new gameplay trailer. Marvel Rivals is releasing December 6th. There is a new Amazon Prime series called Secret Level, which is releasing December 10th, and it'll have a ton of different video game characters in it, like we saw Kratos and Mega Man, for example, so that is really exciting. I cannot wait to see, like, what that is. Age of Mythology Retold was shown off, and it's releasing September 4th. Towerborn was shown off, and it's releasing September 10th. Delta Force got a story trailer, and that game will be releasing Q4 2024. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 got a brand new gameplay/story trailer, and is releasing February 11th, 2025. Zenless Zone Zero got a new gameplay trailer for an expansion. Honkai Star Rail got a trailer. Batman Arkham Shadow, the VR game, got a look at some gameplay, and that'll be releasing October 2024. Again, it's a VR game, so just keep that in mind if you're hoping it will be a new, like console game like Arkham Knight or Arkham City. No, it's going to be a VR game. So again, for somebody with a weak stomach like me, I unfortunately won't be able to experience the game. Little Nightmares 3, we got a brand new gameplay trailer. Hurdling, Masters of Albion, Squid Games Unleashed, that's a mobile game. Unknown 9 Awakening was shown off and will be releasing October 9th. World of Warcraft The War Within is coming August 26th. World of Warcraft is celebrating 30 years with an Overwatch 2 collab. Hearthstone is celebrating 10 years. And Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred got a brand new cinematic when that expansion will be releasing on October 8th. The first Berserker, Kaizen, got a brand new gameplay trailer and will be releasing 2025. Ara, Stories Untold, was shown off with a live-action trailer, and it's releasing September 24th. We got a look at Flowtopia. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be releasing December 9th, 2024, and spring 2025 on PS5. And finally, we got a look at Mafia: The Old Country. So excited for this game. It feels like it's been quite a while since Mafia 3. I love the Mafia series. I've gone on record talking about that many times. It is an amazing series, and if you have yet to get caught up, the games are on sale all the time. And in fact, Mafia Definitive Edition, the first one, just went into Game Pass, so that would be a great way to play it there. But all three games are an absolute masterpiece, and man, yeah, you know, this one's called Mafia: The Old Country, not Mafia 4, so it's hard to say if it'll be a direct follow-up. That being said, all the Mafia games have been relatively standalone, aside from a few winks to previous games, is all I'm going to say without spoiling anything, but we'll be getting some more information on that this December, they said. So, all in all, man, I had a lot of fun watching this. It was about 2 hours or so, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I always love watching these showcases. But anyways, that is all the stories that I got for you guys this week, so now I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on everything that we talked about, whether it's the Atari 7800 Plus? Do you plan to pick one up? And how about the Nintendo Museum? I'm sorry, I've been talking for a while. Again, I can't even speak at this point. My mouth is just failing me. Seriously though, how about the Nintendo Museum? Do you plan to take a trip out there for yourself, or are you just gonna kind of wait for images and videos to come out on YouTube about it, and then just kind of, you know, just learn about the museum that way? Just whatever it is, whatever you're thinking, I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, this is Weekly GCAP. New episodes go live every single Friday at 9 AM Eastern, so if you want to catch them as soon as they go live, well then, now you know when to be here. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.